Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Michael Filios, founder and CEO of IT Ally and a CDO editorial board member. And we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Balaram Tidhi, Vice President, Chief Data and Analytics Officer at Artera Services. Balaram, welcome to the program.
Great to be here. Thank you, Michael.
My pleasure. I know we have a lot to get to, so let's dive right in. So Balaram, tell us a little bit more about your interest in data, AI, and digital technologies, and how this influenced your background and prepared you for your current role today as Chief Data and Analytics Officer.
Yeah, thank you. Growing up, I was always captivated by these puzzles and patterns. Little did I know this fascination would actually shape up into this career of a data leader. It's a part of the evolution that happened. The main thing that happened was that the turning point in my journey came when I was given an opportunity to design a data warehouse for GE Plastics way back in 2000. And it was a very pivotal moment where I witnessed the firsthand the incredible power of data and its profound impact on the businesses, right? So, when I got this, when I saw the results, I got the appreciation, whatnot, that experience has really sparked a fire within me to explore the vast potential of data in transforming organization. But it has been there for a while, right? Even AI we are speaking today, it has been there. People have always known data is there. But through my career, as it progressed, I ventured into the world of consulting, working on both the front end and the back end. So I got used to technologies specifically, right? In various industries. That this exposure actually provided me with a valuable experience of navigating this unique data challenges faced by all these sectors. Can be healthcare, it can be construction. Everyone had their own lens into it. It was during this time that I realized the importance of data management and analytics techniques and leveraging digital technologies to gain this competitive edge. So one of the highlights of my journey was the opportunity to build a global data analytics team from scratch in a company called Red Hat. This experience taught me the delicate balance between the data-driven decision-making and cultivating a data-centric culture for within organizations, right? I became like a translator, bridging the gap between IT and business, leading to various digital transformation projects along the way. My storytelling capability actually got, somebody in my audience referred me to a professor in UGA. So his name is Rick Watson, and we had interviews and say, hey, can you teach a fintech course? And I said, no, I know maybe 70% I can really get, but that, they went, and I went through its majority technology and also data and digital. So that led to me a part-time professor, like an adjunct professor role in fintech, and further my passion in transformational power of data. So and that's how, the second question, like how it prepared me for this data, just looking at the background of my various exposures, right? And being this tech translator, a change agent, and, having my diverse experience really equipped me like a holistic perspective, allowing me to, comprehend these unique challenges and opportunities that arise within different business contexts. In this current company, this is Artera is a infrastructure services company. It's a private equity firm. We a lot of mergers and acquisitions. We get companies together. So data is so key for us to really change it. So that's how it prepared me to this. So it's an evolution, a journey. As you know, the CDO role doesn't have a fixed job description, various backgrounds. That's why it's so exciting, even being in this community, to have exposure to so much variety of peoples and learning from them. So this is a long answer, but hopefully it gave you a background.
Well, it's a great segue because all of that experience, I'm sure, has brought forward some challenges for you, right? And I think our audience would love to hear more about some of those challenges that you faced, and more specifically, how did you overcome them, either in this current role or previous roles that you've experienced?
Yep. Yeah. So some of the challenges you're asking?
Yes, for sure.
Oh, yeah. So the one of the key one is always the data quality and the governance, right? And being very mindful about the utilization of the data by the end customers or the business. You can get lost in data. So the challenge was always the end. You deliver a data product, business uses it, they get success, and then there is no control feedback loop, right? How long they're going to use it. So making sure that consistency is there, that feedback loop is strong, so that we do the required surgical corrections and being very mindful about what features are we focused to maintain the quality, the governance around it, the regulations, everything involved, right? So keeping the footprint smaller, but very highly impactful. So the challenge has been that, and is around how can we get more skin in the game for the business, like between the data consumers and data producers. We can talk about these data contracts and making them talk, make sure that there's no data drift happening just because business is changing, our models are a little outdated. So how do we keep ahead of it? How do we have some policies and processes and some guidelines, always creating those guardrails around with some framework like CRISP-DM and things like that, so that we maintain the quality and the trust mostly of the business, so that they can give more challenging these projects, or bring us more onto the discussion table of the board, or bringing us closer to the business strategy. That initially, as data leaders, we need to really break the ice and get into it, like getting closer to the business. So unless they're comfortable with what we can offer, the chair will not be there for us to go and represent us. So that has always been like, sitting in the back in making sure people can share their dirty laundry of data so that they're comfortable to share and work with me. That has been the challenge of maintaining that quality and trust once delivered.
And I think, again, this goes sort of to the next question, which talks about aligning those strategies, with your different stakeholders and making sure they're meeting the business objectives. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that and the nature of the different entities that you support inside of Artera, but more generally, how do you ensure that what the data team is doing is highly focused on what the business objectives are?
Absolutely. We have like a quarterly readout with an executive team. We intentionally keep ourselves very open and accountable, so that they know, okay, this 3 months, this is what we have in a backlog, this is what we are focused on. And the business understands what the impact, not only the business, even the team member knows the value they're providing, so that there's no distraction on the shiny object syndrome, right? So we want to make sure that we are staying on course and with proper understanding about where the impact's happening. That brings a lot of positivity in the team, and also the buy-in. It's an all in all like a win-win situations. But having these quarterly meetings that we have with executives, showing what we have, what progress we have, even very incremental, sometimes we may not have significant, we have a lot of blockers. They will be mindful about us rather than point fingers. They don't know, right, what happens in the back end. We might be dealing with a very heavy lift of a quality issue that outcome is not there, but having very close loop with the business helps us. So that's how one of the ways which, like, keeping open communication channel, creating a safety net for the team, making sure they understand the priorities, having less is more mindset, that's how I'll try to mitigate as much as we can.
Yeah, I like the less is more component. I'm sure you mentioned this earlier too, that you don't want to boil the ocean with these kinds of initiatives. You've got to show value quickly. So maybe you can give some examples of how you've been able to rapidly deliver value, even though we're talking about big topics like AI and innovation and pretty sophisticated stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I joined, the way it happened is the CFO of Artera came on, say like, hey, we have this data, all these trucks, all the telematics data we have for like it's 8 operating companies. you have data, right? But you'd like to have insights into it. Like, how can we get? So right now, maybe a consulting firm is providing us every monthly report of just our assets across the companies and how they're all the way from not only the registry of assets, but how much gas these trucks. These are heavy trucks that actually work in the construction field. So the fuel burn and the repairs and maintenance and all these information, and can we share what much is leased, rental, that type of information, data is there, but there's no quick insights for the business to take some decisions. So to give an example, right, it's all about it depends on the culture of the business and how much of data mindset individual the organization DNA has. So coming to a fresh plate, like it has been I cannot go and ask like X number of dollars to get the ball rolling. So it's leveraging the existing technologies. What can we do? So this is Microsoft Shop, preliminary most of the shop. So I used that and then leveraged the cloud technology to ingest this data as like a bubblegum duct tape. Just because of the crawl stage, I want to show the proof of value. So we had all these wherever these reports are there in individual systems, emails were sent on to this one inbox, and from there we used some Python to process that, put it in the cloud, and give a report. So that was the first step in the door. Yep, I could get like a clear bird's view across the board. And that's when the journey started. The trust started building in. And you use all kinds of techniques in as you grow, right? So one is definitely the change, another is the communication and making sure you are out there as part of a CDO role. Artera is my company's name is Artera. So I put an SM in the front and made it Smartera. So everyone saw like, oh, fine, you're smart guys, I thought like people give you a lot of slack, but it's a great culture. The company has a great culture, and when you have some creativity or innovation, they really support it. So Artera has been awesome. So it's and so when this Smartera had a challenge of we need to live up to the standards of being smart. So we started delivering value, and there's been they got the context, and we did all kinds of techniques of change management, and also for data governance, we spinned out a project called Project Moneyball. If you've seen the Moneyball movie, so that people know why Moneyball is like, yeah, there's so much of value. You get some kind of icebreaker and getting into them and explaining them. And explaining complex concepts, like even for the forecasting, predicting, the data mining, the feature engineering, what's the data preparation. Simple things like this CRISP DM framework I was talking about, that shares like what upfront time you're spending rather than jumping immediately into solutioning. Like, if you look at the CRISP DM format, it goes with business understanding, data understanding, then data preparation. That's where they identify the various features, right? We call feature in your data preparation, and then comes the modeling. Then you have the deployment, and then you have monitoring, right? So there is this process that we don't want to jump just because of leadership pressure to just go and do it. Go through this process as the wise and make sure you have a proper solid use case before you go behind the project. So that kind of motto really helped us to explain this complex AI, the new generative AI, explain to the people what AI really is. Do you really have a business use case for AI? You shouldn't do it for the sake of doing AI, kind of, right? So those all things came in. So yeah.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And to learn more about CDO Magazine or to view more interviews, please visit cdomagazine.tech. Thanks again.
Thank you.